Hello. Thank you for your interest in DNR's Youth Education and Land Mapping tool, otherwise known as YELM. This video will introduce you to the basic functions of the YELM tool. The other videos in this series will cover different ways that you can use the tool to support education on land management and to identify locations for outdoor education in Washington. You can access the YELM tool through the webpage for DNR's Youth Education and Outreach Program. Navigate to www.dnr.wa.gov/youtheducation and scroll to the image of the map. You can click on the image to launch the mapping application or use the link in the text above the image. You may need to click on proceed to experience.arcgis.com to launch the tool. When YELM launches, you will see a pop-up screen that explains the goals for the tool and some of its basic features. To close this screen, just select OK. You can open it again using the information icon in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Clicking on the brown box or DNR's logo in the top left-hand corner of the screen will take you back to the web page for our program. The YELM tool was created using ArcGIS. If you aren't familiar with GIS or Geographic Information Systems, it is a technology that is used to visualize geographic data. GIS maps allow users to evaluate place-based data and overlay different data sets to draw connections and discern patterns. The data sets are referred to as layers, which can be turned on and off using the panel in the top left-hand corner of the screen. You can use your trackpad or the mouse to zoom in and out of the map and can click and drag to navigate around the state. You can also use the search bar to zoom to a particular location, for example, your school or home address. If you zoom to a location using the search feature, that location will be marked with an orange pin until you X out of it on the search bar. When you launch YELM, several layers are already turned on. These layers include the lands managed by the Washington Department of Natural Resources, depicted here in green, DNR recreation sites, shown as brown boxes on the map, and the K-12 school district boundaries, which are outlined in purple. These layers are projected on a base map called World Hillshade. This base map shows topographic lines and labels creeks and rivers. When zoomed out, urban areas are shaded a light sort of reddish yellow color, and forests are shaded a light green. When you zoom in, schools are shaded a light purple on the base map, parks are a light green, and hospitals are shaded light blue. When you zoom way out, you can see the ecoregion boundaries shown in these dark orangish red lines. And I'll just show you, for example, if I zoom into Olympia High School. First of all, it's going to drop that pin, which again will stay on the map as I zoom out, and then you'll see the school is in that light purple color, parks are in that light green, and then hospitals in this area would be shaded in a light blue. To change the base map, click on the icon with the 4 squares in the top right-hand corner of the map. You can select something different, like, for example, you may be interested in seeing more of a satellite image or a traditional sort of navigation map that highlights roads. I'm going to go back to World Hillshade for the rest of our demo since that's how the map defaults. As you move around the map, the panel in the bottom left will display the DNR managed recreation sites within that area. They are also marked on the map as brown boxes. Clicking on either the name in the bottom right-hand panel or on the box on the map will pull up a panel with a description of the location and an overview of what you can do there. So for example, I've clicked on Kennedy Creek. I get a little bit of information about the types of things that you can see there, the activities, how to get there, and then what types of infrastructure are available at that site. And then you can click on this link to the DNR webpage to learn more about that particular recreation location. Recreation sites can also be filtered using the funnel icon in the bottom left-hand panel. You can filter by whether the site allows day use, has a bathroom, or has access for winter recreation. We hope to add additional filters soon, including whether the site is big enough for a bus. Additional videos take a deeper dive into how best to use the different layers to explore land management in your community. However, to cover the basics, layers can be turned on and off using the checkboxes. It is important to note that for a layer to be visible on the map, its parent layer needs to be turned on. So if I, for example, click out of Department of Natural Resources, all of the layers underneath that category won't display on the map. So I would need to have this parent layer turned on to be able to visualize any of the layers underneath it. A legend for each layer can be found by clicking the icon next to the name of that layer, which you can see here. So DNR rec sites are these brown boxes. Natural areas are shown in these sort of teal colors. And then you can also adjust the transparency of the layer here. So if you want to make it more or less transparent on the map, that's an option too. It's important to note that the legend will only be an option if that layer is turned on. Layers are displayed in the order that they are listed in the side panel. So the Washington Department of Natural Resources layers will show up on top of any other layers that are turned on. To better view some of the lower data sets, like counties and legislative districts, you may want to turn off other layers. We encourage you to play around with the tool and explore its functions. GIS maps are very fluid, so if you are having issues with the way the data is presenting, we recommend that you refresh the page. You can also play around with these sort of clickable functions. Some of the what are called polygons in the GIS map will pop up additional information when selected. So for example, by clicking on the Shelton School District boundary, I can see more about the ESD and the legislative district and be redirected to that school district's website. Please check out the other videos in this series, which cover how to use Yelm to identify locations for outdoor education, how to use Yelm to teach about trust lands, and other videos coming soon. If you have questions or comments, please contact DNR's Youth Education and Outreach Program at YEOP, Y-E-O-P, at dnr.wa.gov. Thank you.